The Europeans did not bring the gospel. They brought a false gospel. Used it to colonize Africa. You never heard the true gospel. The true gospel doesn't make you down enough to sign documents that you don't have the capacity to read. And this is where I will ask those who advocate for African traditional religion and African spirituality, which is what I was discussing with somebody a few days ago. I said, you say the spirit mediums led us to win the war.
Once again, this is Apostle T.F. Chiwenga commenting on the assertion that the spirit mediums and the ancestors successfully helped us to fight the colonial masters. But on the contrary, he is going against that assertion, raising so many questions, some of them which are directed to the civilization of Africa. Indeed, they are developmental questions. So let us hear more from him, and then don't forget to leave your comment. What are you thinking about this? What is your thought concerning this matter?
The Europeans did not bring the gospel. They brought a false gospel. Used it to colonize Africa. You never heard the true gospel. The true gospel doesn't make you down enough to sign documents that you don't have the capacity to read. And this is where I will ask those who advocate for African traditional religion and African spirituality, which is what I was discussing with somebody a few days ago. I said, you say the spirit mediums led us to win the war. The spirit mediums like Nehanda, the spirit mediums like Chaminuka. Who else? Kaguvi. There's another one, Mlimo. They helped us. And so many other false stories mixed and concocted like that soldiers disappeared. It's not true now. Don't believe everything, especially if it happened in the past. That soldiers disappeared is not a true story. Don't be deceived. If you are a historian, you know that even historical books are questioned for their authenticity. Because people can twist historical facts to suit a specific narrative. Scholars know that. Now, listen to me. I asked you one question. I said, where were the spirit mediums when we signed the Moffat Treaty or the Rad Concession?
Right.
Where were they? Where were the spirit mediums when we gave hunting and mining rights to Cecil John Rhodes? And then he manipulated the details of those agreements to say he now owns part of what he was using as concession hunting or concession mining. How did the spirit mediums allow our leaders to sign documents that they did not have capacity to read because they were all illiterate?
Yes.
Munhu asingagone kuverenga aisaina sei document iye asingagone kuverenga.
Rakaverengwa nechirungu chaasingazvi.
Where were the spirit mediums when we signed agreements that sold our land for a penny? Where were they? Don't tell me that they led us to fight a war. Why didn't they stop us from being colonized in the first place? Because fighting a war was restitution. We could have avoided it by simply not capitulating to the forces of imperialism and colonialism prior to 1890. It was easy. We could have done what the Ethiopians did. Did we do that?
No, we didn't.
So when we put Christ here and the vadzimu there, we know that by 1890 we didn't have Christ in Zimbabwe. Taive nevadzimu vakafoira vadzimu tikabirwa minda nemapani edu nemasango edu nezvicherwa zvedu vadzimu vakatarisa. We have evidence of how useless our vadzimu were in the days of colonialism. They failed us. Zvavanonzi vanoona zvatisingaone Why didn't they warn us about the 1884 Berlin Conference? Why didn't they warn the Ndebele Kingdom, the Roji Kingdom, and the Zezuru Kingdom to fortify themselves?
Yes.
Why didn't we invent guns in preparation for war in the wake of the scramble for Africa? Where were they? You now want to come up and say, yes, you want to compensate the whites for the land you took back from them after they had stolen it from us. But you are still saying the Wazimu are very wise. How wise are they? Huh?
Yeah.
If African civilization is greater than Western civilization, how come our civilization died at the construction of the Great Zimbabwe or the Egyptian pyramids?
Was the Great Zimbabwe ruins built for economic reasons? So was the Egyptian pyramids, the Kami ruins, the Mapukumbwe. Tell me, what are your thoughts as far as these issues are concerned?
What industry were the pyramids built to support? Tell us. The Egyptian pyramids were built to expand which industry? To bring which money from where? If you tell me that civilization started in Africa, I will ask you, what then stopped the civilization from evolving like it has done in other civilizations? Why did we get stuck in the Iron Age? What happened? How did we get stuck in the Stone Age? If we were able to build Great Zimbabwe, how come we never built any machine? Huh? Takatadziswa nani kugadzira futi? So our nostalgia is misplaced. We are arguing that we are superior in terms of industrial acumen and development, but the evidence on the ground does not support us.
Yes.
Kunonzi kuvaraidza nguva kuteya nzou neriva. The Great Zimbabwe was not an industry. It was the king's palace and the king's fortress. It doesn't improve the lives of citizens. It is not a solution to a problem that affects the society. At this point, it is now a museum. It is now a historical site that people come and see like that, and they go like a mountain or a river. It's not a solution. Show me African civilization solving African problems. Tell me which problems did we solve in our civilization. Tell me what problem the Egyptian pyramids were solving. Did we bury the dead Egyptian kings there? Is that a problem now?
No.
Is that a problem, Pastor Chum?
No, it's not. No.
At best, the Egyptian pyramids are symmetries.
Yeah.
How can you use symmetries as example of civilization?
No.
How can you build such a huge tower simply to bury a dead body? What are you talking about? How does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Why didn't we evolve to go into the industrial revolution? Making machines and engines like what Germany did, what France did, what America did, what Britain did. If we were the mother of civilization, did the mother die before time? What happened to the mother of civilization? It's a simple question. I'm not insulting my people. I'm asking a relevant question. If Africa is the mother of civilization, where is Mama? What happened to Mama? Did she die trying to give birth? Are we not the Africans born to this woman called Africa? Look at us. We are learning Western designed education. We can't even come up with a homegrown educational curricula for ourselves. And yet we have the guts to say Africa is the mother of all civilization. No, that's not true now. Let us not deceive ourselves with untruth claims. I haven't seen a civilization design made in Africa that was useful for the common African people. All I see are structures that were built by kings out of their own ego, out of their desire to preserve themselves and to show themselves as rich kings. There's nothing done or designed for the common people. That is not civilization. Civilization is tested on the common man on the ground. If the common man's life is impacted positively, that's development.
Yes. Yes.
Imagine 100 years from now, people saying Zimbabwe was developed in 2025, and the evidence of that development is Mnangagwa's motorcade. It was full of Ford Raptor vehicles. Huh? Zimbabwe was developed by the motorcade ya president wa Hungary pamaziva motorcades zachina dziri 70 kudai so. Proof of development cannot be the president's motorcade. Take me to the public hospital. Take me to the rural school. Take me to the rural clinic. Take me to the borehole where villagers are fetching water. That's where I test the standard of life of a people. Not the president's state house or the president's motorcade, which the great Zimbabwe represent. It was the place where the king lived. You can't test civilization from the president's palace. It is not wise. All right. So I hope I've spoken some